Hey there you guys, welcome to Stalker 2 update 2.0 on Ryzen 7 5700X, RTX 5070, 32 gigs of DDR4 RAM, 3600 MHz. So the game is set on max settings, which is epic. DLSS of course. Frame gen is off at the moment. Display set on 1440p. And there's that low latency mode set on reflex low latency Nvidia. And it's turned on, so recalculating FPS, we are having 90% GPU usage in one of the most intensive locations on very first, at the beginning of the game I mean. Last time we had like 40 FPS in here, and now look at that, we are getting 64 after the update. And this is the magic of optimization, very nice. So yeah. One sec, I'll have to recalculate the FPS in here and let's move. The game looks and perform better than before. This place is now completely playable on the max settings, I mean smooth. So yeah, let's try to do the same route that we took last time. On my last test, I mean, the game looks greenish than before. I do think it will look a bit less apocalyptic. GPU usage is not almost 100%. There is some bottleneck there. Yeah, there is bottleneck. So yeah, the people who have better CPU, of course, gonna have better FPS in here. .65 FPS, not much of a big difference than the first village. Let's try to go there. Didn't see that. Here we go. 65, 67 as max FPS. I didn't see less than 60 outside of the village. Let's try DLSS quality, even though I think we are not gonna be having any gains, but let's try it. Recalculating FPS, GPU usage dropped to 90% and we are getting 98, 97. Dropped to 70 in this place. GPU usage is 80%. .75 per FPS there. Here we go. .73. Let's try to go back to the first village. Here we go. And see how much we are getting. So maybe we can try frame gen there too. The game runs way better, like way better, smoother too. Recalculating frames, so we had 60 and 59, 57s there. Yeah, it's the same FPS. There are no gains in performance inside this village with DLSS quality. Of course, you're gonna have some gains outside of the village like we did a few seconds ago. So yeah, there is no need to keep playing on DLSS quality. I mean, there are some cases, yeah. You can keep playing with DLSS if you want to, but for me I would go with DLA. Let's try now frame gen, DLSS multi-frame gen 2 times, and should we keep it on DLA? Let's keep that on DLA, alright. So yeah, Recalculating frames. By the way, the game before that, the update had some latency, and I don't feel any for now. Especially with the ultra epic settings. The game had a lot of latency, but I don't feel any right now. So yeah, max settings possible. DLA 1440p with multi-frame gen is on. So we're getting 104 FPS in the village. I do feel some latency there, yeah. Some bit of latency. RAM usage is almost 19 gigabytes and 98, 97 FPS there. I do feel some latency. One sec. Let's push it down to DLSS quality. Alright, recalculating frames. Now we are getting 130, 120. Yeah, the latency is gone. I don't feel any latency. Yeah, the latency is completely gone. Wait, when I move the gun... Yeah, when you look at the guns, yeah, it is visible now. I don't know if you can see this on the video or not, but there is some ghosting right there with frame gen. Anyway, let's leave this village and see how much performance we are getting. I do think you should play this on epic settings. There's no need to play less than that because the game runs nice. We're getting 90% GPU usage with 140 FPS, 140 plus FPS. I don't feel any latency. There is some latency with DLA, but none with DLSS quality. And 35 FPS. So the FPS keeps jumping from 120, 140 when we are outside on nowhere. In nowhere, I mean. RAM usage went up to 20 gigabytes, dropped back to 19. Let's kill the dude, the SVD dude. There is a trap in here, so yeah, let's go back to the village. Maybe we can do a different settings. So yeah, last time in the village performance wasn't so good. But outside of the village you can play on Epic normally, so yeah. Go back to settings, push, no, let's turn on back this first to DLA, turn off frame gen, push this back to high settings. Certain change will only take effects after the game restart. So yeah, let's restart the game and be back in a few minutes. I've just restarted the game in the same village and we are getting 75 FPS. 75, 69, 67 with 89 GPU usage. 89%, 86. So it's been 95 and 96% usage. Definitely better than before. This CPU now can handle the game. RAM usage dropped to almost 17 gigabytes from 19. Performance outside of the village is 87, 86, 41, 55 for the lows. That's good. I don't feel any latency, by the way. The game had a lot of latency before this update, at least on this system. Yeah, let's try DLSS quality, even though we're not gonna be having so much gains, but let's try it anyway. So we are out of nowhere. We're getting 100 plus FPS with 86% GPU usage. $92. Yeah, so when you are outside of buildings or away from buildings, you're gonna be having more frames than the native res, but when you get closer to any building, you're gonna be having the same performance. Yeah, it is the same performance. Oh, I died. Forgot to jump. Anyway, let's load this one right here and try frame gen instead. The loading screens is taking a bit longer than the usual. Here we go. So let's go here, activate this 2 times, push this back to DLAA. So here we go. Max settings, high settings 1440p, DLA frame gen is on. I do feel some latency there already. Yeah, GPU usage is 81% with 120 FPS, 117, 12. CPU usage is 70 there. I don't talk much about the CPU usage in my tests, but anyway. Oh, the latency is gone actually. Let's try to go back to the village. Yeah, I do feel latency now. So yeah, the latency has something to do with the village. Now it's gone. So definitely let's try DLSS quality and see. So yeah, I do feel some latency there. It's not so annoying, but still. Let's drop this to DLSS quality. Recalculating frames, and now it's gone. We also getting plus 30 FPS. Yeah, let's push this back to DLA and keep testing. We had 20 FPS plus there. Yeah, there is some small latency there. It won't annoy you much, only if you don't like frame gen. GPU usage is 90%, CPU dropped to 60, and we are getting 130 FPS there. So yeah, I would still recommend you to play this on epic settings, DLA with no frame gen. Yeah, the game is performing completely fine outside of the village. There is no latency. Let's try in here. Are we getting the same feeling of the latency or no? So far so good. Yeah, oh, I don't feel anything in here. Yeah, I don't feel any latency there. Game is working fine. This update is really good. Let's try medium settings, I mean. And yeah, push this to off, apply. I think I should restart. I'll be back in a few seconds. So we're back again, just restarted the game. Medium settings, DLAA. Where's DLAA? Here we go. Frame gen is turned off, display 1440p, same as before. And here we are, 87, 89 GPU usage with 80 FPS. That's better than high and ultra, and the game started to look bit better. I mean, like, it's not the game still looking beautiful, I mean the shadows. Look at the shadows. They don't look so good. Anyway, we're getting 74 FPS up to 80, but when we move, that's dropped to 70, but when we stand still, back to 80. Let's run. Yeah, and we are back to 80 FPS. That's weird. GPU usage is 80%, 60% for the CPU, 42, 47, 57 for the lows. Back. We're out from the village and we are getting 90 FPS. I don't recommend you playing on these settings. I'm just testing this for the sake of the benchmark. So yeah, I recommend you to push everything to ultra and enjoy the graphics. GPU usage is now 90%. We're pretty much in nowhere now, and we are having 100 FPS. So yeah, you're gonna be having 100 FPS if you have a powerful CPU. For the people who have that, of course. Let's try now. Or is it called DLSS quality? Let's see. I mean this. GPU usage dropped to 85% with 130 FPS. %71% GPU usage. That's something new. Oh, by the way, look, trees from a distance doesn't look so good as high and ultra. Yeah, so that's something that might annoy you. So yeah, let's run. Let's try that building over there. It's gonna be the same FPS as native or DLAA when near the buildings. Yeah, I dropped to the 80 FPS, similar to the first village there. Yeah, so let's try frame gen and go back to the first village. Let's just push this back to DLAA for better visuals. Recalculating frames, and we are getting 140 FPS. Let's kill the sniper. Let's now load the village and see how much we are getting. Let's see if we actually have latency or not there. Here we go. So recalculating frames, almost 90% GPU usage, and of course we are having this annoying latency. It's not so annoying, but still it is latency. So the only way to fix latency is by using the DLSS or just skipping frame generation, never use it again. Recalculating frames and oh, it's actually still there. It is still there, yeah. With high ultra, using the DLSS quality with frame gen, fix that, but with medium settings still there is too much pressure on the CPU because we are having 170 FPS and now it's gone. Let's try to go back. Now it's back. Yeah, 170 FPS with DLSS set on quality. Let's go back to DLAA. Recalculating frames, 150 FPS. $140. Let's try to. Yeah, the trees looks horrible from afar. How about now? How much? We are getting 150 FPS. That's good performance. If you are fine with frame gen, then yeah, you can play with frame gen. I would play this on max if it's possible, 1440p DLA. I don't want to use frame gen. Let's now try low. I don't recommend you to play on low settings. Just doing this to see how much FPS we are getting. Yeah, we need to restart the game. I'll be back in a few seconds. And here we are with low settings. We are getting 90 FPS with 86% GPU usage, 75%. Now FPS drop to 80, back to 90 FPS. I don't feel any latency or something. We had a lot of latency. What's this? Let's take it. Yeah, the graphics looks horrible compared to max settings. Yeah, as I said, don't try this at home. It's only for the sake of the benchmark. Push your game to max settings, relax, and enjoy the graphics. Stalker 2 looks beautiful on max settings. Yeah, better play it that way. Anyway, we're getting 100 FPS in here with 89 GPU usage, high 80s. Now it's 90 plus. Anyway, how much FPS we're getting in here? 115. How about the DLSS quality? No, not the depth of field. Here we go. Recalculating 122 FPS. Not so much gains there. It's almost the same. The game looks horrible compared to max settings. Let's try to get inside the buildings. GPU usage dropped to 62. Hundred FPS, 90. Let's kill the dude. Oh, look at the shadows. Just noticed my shadow looks really bad.
You dead meat, fucker!
Behave. $90 FPS. Let's do this. Push this back to DLAA. Turn on frame gen 2 times. Let's go back to the village. No, this one. Good. And see, this is gonna be the last test for this benchmark. I recommend you to play on max settings, DLAA. Maybe you can use DLSS quality. If you wanna use frame gen, you're fine, but I recommend you not to go lower than epic settings, or high at least. So yeah, I don't feel any latency with frame gen in the village. Yeah, I don't feel any. And we're getting 75% to 85% GPU usage with 150 FPS. This is low DLA frame gen. So we didn't have any 100% GPU usage in Stalker 2. That's fine, the game's still playable. The game's still completely playable now. Way better than before. Let's try DLSS quality. Let's see how much we can reach. 200 FPS. 200 FPS with DLSS quality. GPU usage is now 90%. Let's see how much FPS when there are no buildings. We're getting 218 and 20. Almost 30 there. Yeah, the graphics looks horrible back there. Yeah, so Stalker is actually playable in all settings. I recommend you to play on this. Push this to max settings, DLA, turn off frame gen. Yeah, the game requires restart, but I'm no longer benchmarking, I'm just showing you. I'd recommend you to play the game on these settings. Looks beautiful now. We're getting 70, almost 80 FPS in our nowhere near buildings. Drops to 60 or 70 inside near buildings. So yeah, the trees are no longer look pixelated and weird looking. Same as the shadow. So yeah, maybe you can also play this on high settings if you want to. DLSS quality in frame gen, maybe not frame gen, maybe just DLSS quality with ultra will get you more frames satisfier I mean in performance. So yeah, this was Stalker 2 2.0 on Ryzen 7 5700X and RTX 5070, 32 gigs of DDR4 RAM, 3600 MHz. The game runs way better than before. So this is it. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you wanna see me testing any other games, just let me know in the comments. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.